Okay, I'm here in Columbia, Pennsylvania, along the Susquehanna River, and this is the parking place for the Northwest Lancaster County Rail Trail. So we're going to get started, and first have to find the entrance to the trail, which I believe is right over there someplace. All right, let's see if we can find this trail. The lady told me you go up here and cross over. It's over there along the train tracks, which makes sense. Okay. What do we have here? Okay. Well, it doesn't look like a trail. Maybe it was along the sidewalk. Let's go back around. Okay, let's get back up on this sidewalk here. A sign that says trail, so let's see if this is it. Another lady getting started back there. I probably should have waited and just followed her. No, this is it. All right, I think we're on the right track, as it were. Columbia, Pennsylvania is just about, I don't know how many miles, not very far away from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Morning. In Lancaster County. It's 12 miles. There's a sign over there. It says 12 miles away. And I'm staying with my brother-in-law and his wife. And they live in New Holland, just on the other side of Lancaster. So I drove here this morning. Getting started at 10:58. After that last trip, I knew I needed to tighten this mirror, and I forgot to do it. Morning. So this is paved here. Maybe the whole thing's paved. We'll see. Railroad tracks are right down there. So this goes up along the Susquehanna for, I think it said almost 16 miles, 15.9, through Marietta, and then goes a bit north of that. Chose coming to New Holland mainly because my relatives live here and I can stay with them. And there are several trails within 30 minutes drive, or in some cases a little bit shorter. I think it took me about 35 minutes to get here this morning. I was going to ride the Chester Valley Trail. The Chester Valley Rail Trail that goes from Exton to Norristown and connects with the Schuylkill River Trail. But I decided I'll save that for another time when I make my home base be somewhere west of Philadelphia. There's a bunch of trails that intersect around Philadelphia. For this area, there's the Enola Low-Grade Trail, which was appealing. And about the same, this might be 20 miles, I'm not quite sure. Part of it is unimproved, but that was one of my choices. And this Northwest Lancaster County Rail Trail was the other. And there's another one up in Ephrata, Warwick, and Lytle. Today I'm riding this one. Really nicely paved trail through this wooded area, right adjacent to the railroad tracks. Oh, here's a tunnel. Whoa. Well, it's not much of a tunnel. A short tunnel. Don't think I need my light for this. Well, since I got back from my round trip to Somerset, Pennsylvania, morning, I really haven't ridden my bike but maybe 3 times. So I realized that I really enjoyed that trip because I had a purpose and a destination, and just going on trails just for exercise and to ride wasn't as appealing, which is of course silly, but it was a thought I had. On your left, I guess I have a destination now. My destination is the end of this trail and then turn around and come back and have lunch someplace. Nice little bench. But Pennsylvania and North Carolina really, well, a lot of other states too, but since they're close to me, they've really upped the game on rail trails, which is great. So we'll see. I mean, originally I was thinking I'd go to Raleigh-Durham and ride the trails around there because there are quite a few. They're nice and long, but I opted to come here. Okay, one trail. You can see what the trail looks like. There are plenty of videos of, no dialogue or no commentary of the whole trail. But as I encounter things that look interesting, I'll put the camera back on. But for right now, I'm just going to ride and enjoy the solitude of the trail. We're on a lined path, but we're out on a road. Let's see how long this lasts. We just passed the 2-mile marker back there. Well, here's another parking lot where people can start the trail. Okay, I guess we're getting close to Marietta. I think that's what the gentleman back there told me, but now we've been dumped out onto a street again. So this is a bit of a surprise. Wasn't sure this was the right way, but then a guy came by me and continued down this road, but he went over on the other side like one normally would do. There are no markings. That's a bad sign. Maybe the trail's here. I don't know. So, guess we'll find out if this is right. It's strange there's no markings. It's a nice day, that's for sure. We've had lots of rain yesterday and the day before, both here and down in Lynchburg. A beautiful day. I think this is called Front Street. Well, this doesn't look good. It's like they got the road closed. Look around here. Howdy. All right, let's continue. Is that where the trail is? Let's explore. He said something about going over. And there's the trail I should have been on. Don't know how I missed that, but going back, we'll figure it out. The guy said something about you can either ride on Front Street or continue on the trail, but I didn't see the continue on the trail part. Well, this is really pretty. Glad I didn't continue on the street. The river's right there to our left. The Susquehanna goes up to Harrisburg. And we don't go quite that far. Good morning. I've seen more people on this stretch. Good morning. 4 miles. The whole trail's 15.9, Trail Link said. Riding the way I did on my Pennsylvania trip, my Somerset trip, I've got it in Eco 1 and in my derailleur gears in number 7 out of 8. So when I pedal, make one revolution, it puts a fair amount of power out. Morning! And the motor reacts to that, so I'm getting around 12 miles an hour. It's a really flat trail except for some slopes. Morning! Okay, we're coming to a parking lot. On we go. All right, we just came out of the woods into this open area. A lot of noise off to the right, which I'm sure you can hear. Not quite sure what it is. When I look at the map, it shows a bunch of railroad tracks over there, but not sure what's making the noise. But it is noisy. A lot more people in the last half hour or so. Morning. So my people observation on this ride so far is maybe 2 out of 10 acknowledge my greeting. They might look at me, but not say anything, or they don't even look. So it's this interesting phenomenon on how people, when they're out riding their bikes or hiking or walking, how they react to strangers. Got a little bit of a wind here now. I can feel it pushing me back, but we're pushing on. So there's appears to be a fair amount of care being taken to flooding. Back there a ways, there were plantings that were, obviously going to take quite a number of years to grow, but they're in the interest of flood control, because the Susquehanna, as I said, is right over there to my left. Can't see it from here. We're inland a little bit more now. Looks like we have a little bit of an obstacle course here. Oh, I see. It's a gate so they can bring cars on here. Hello. Okay, we go up here and cross over. Cross this one. And just like we have in front of us, it's a pollinating garden. which is cool. Bees love it, I'm sure. I think we've passed Marietta, but I don't know, maybe not, because I think there are places you can get off the trail and eat or drink, and I've seen no signs for anything like that. And here's a big playground, clearly a park overlooking the river. There's a huge area that's been planted for pollination. Very cool. Now there was a guy that waved before I even said hello, so it's all good. There's some porta potties. I guess that's a boat launch place. There's the River Trail, Northwest Lancaster County River Trail. Looks like we're coming around to another field here. Ah, nice and cool. Revitalizing local wetlands. Good morning.
A lot going on there.
Yeah, I do. I guess my cockpit, as it's referred to, my handlebar, is filled with lots of stuff. But I use it all, so it is useful. And once again, I forgot to reset my mileage on the bike controller. But we've gone, according to the Garmin, we've gone 7.2 miles. So the two don't usually match up. And I usually just go with whatever the bike tells me, but I'll have to see what the last mileage was and deduct that from this and see how close it is to the Garmin mileage. Okay, so we're just going across again a very open place. Okay, we are approaching the Shocks Mill Bridge, and this is the river walkway. So let's see what this looks like. Nice view of the river. Hello. This is cool. Hello. Howdy. Private property on that side of the trail. All right, we're back in the woods. Private property. Oh, on both sides of the trail. Well, kudos to Lancaster County for cutting out this trail. There's a lot of the trail's damp and a lot of the places that aren't exposed to the sun from yesterday's rain, which was off and on and sometimes really hard. So they complain about people riding e-bikes going too fast and endangering other people. That guy was on a regular bike and he was going way faster than I'm going, and I would suspect even faster than 20 miles an hour. So rules are important, but they need to apply to everybody, even on bike trails. Okay, we're coming back into the woods, it looks like. There's another picnic table. Overlook. No, not much of an overlook. It seems as though Lancaster County and perhaps Pennsylvania in general are paying attention to climate control and environmental control. That's encouraging. Great. All right. We are at 9 miles out of our 15.9. Let's call it 16. Whoa, another route. There have been a number of those. A given with paved trails, unfortunately. The roots do rise and push the asphalt up. All right, it appears we are approaching what they call, this is pretty cool. So this is limestone that is likened to the cliffs of Dover. Necessitates a little bit of a hike. Pretty cool. Huh. Well, one more little hill here. All right, we're on our way back now. At the beginning, it turned out it's only like 14 miles. There's a nice view of the river, Susquehanna River. People have houses right there with a nice view. It's a really pretty flat trail, but there are these little places where there are little uphills and of course then downhills, but none of them are extreme at all. We're right next to the railroad tracks. Since we're on our way back now, the Susquehanna is on our right and the railroad tracks are on our left, as you can clearly see. And there's an inn up here, but I don't think I'm going to stop here for lunch. Maybe I can go into Marietta, explore that a little bit. Yeah, so we're going to keep going here. Here's one of those uphills, hill slopes. I've been riding pretty consistently at Eco 1 and been running 12 to 14 miles an hour. So this is Marietta. It's telling us everything that's up here. Okay, we are in Marietta and I'm looking for Molly's. There's Molly's right there. Okay, we just had a great lunch at Molly's Cafe, as recommended by the lady on the trail. So we're heading back to the trail. We have about 4 miles back to the car. Neat old colonial houses here. And this is where somehow I got off the trail before this. Hi. Hello there, good job. I'm glad you have a helmet on. That protects your head. So, this is the part of the trail we missed. And we're going to figure out how it is we missed it. Here we go. So that little break, I guess we started around 2, and now it's 2:44. All right. A lot of nice little picnic or places to stop, a lot of benches, a couple picnic tables. But one thing I have noticed, there's a fair amount, I mean, actually for a, what was it, about 14 some mile long route, it wasn't that bad, but there were places where the routes were pushing up the surface of the trail. Another pair of picnic tables. It's kind of cool. And these are all off to the left, my left. Hi, our access into Marietta. And I really, of course, I was on the fringe of Columbia where I parked, and I'm not sure there are any other towns along the way, but there was an inn at one of those junctions. But I guess Marietta is the place to go to eat. Quite a number of restaurants indicated. And I chose Molly's because of the recommendation. So this is the trail that we missed. And I want to get back to the wall where the kids were climbing. There's probably nobody climbing now, but somehow I screwed up and didn't have the camera recording. Gotta remember to always look and see if I see the little red pinkish light flashing. That means it's recording. Hello. Also, I've noticed that there are quite a number of cyclists, and they would appear to be seasoned cyclists, who fail to announce that they're passing you. And one time I was kind of in the middle of the trail, and this guy went whizzing by me, and again, they typically are going pretty fast. So it's not e-bikes that are the problem, it's inconsiderate cyclists, or very new novice e-bike riders perhaps, but there are plenty of riders of traditional bikes that pose a threat of danger to pedestrians and other cyclists on trails. Sad. This is milepost 3. Well, here is where we screwed up probably. Okay, now where is this? Ah, I see. All right. So you're supposed to go there. Now how does one know that? Any signs? Authorized personnel only. No. Let's see if there are any up here. This is where the trail was right along the, yeah. But nothing that indicates that you should go up there. So this is Bank Street. So on front and Bank Street, you're supposed to stay on the trail, supposed to go up there. Hi. Hello. So it's right after that little playground over there to my left, which would be on your right, and this open space to my right. And that's how I screwed up. On your left. Now we're back on the trail. Cars. Borough of Marietta. Marietta Iron Furnace Park. Apparently Iron production was a big early colonial times production in Lancaster County. All right, very nice trail. You okay?
Yeah, I just couldn't get my foot out.
Oh. It's almost 3 o'clock. Passing on your left. Thank you. There's a climbing outfitter door. See if I can get through here. Yep. Afternoon. Okay, here's this rock. And then it appears that no one is here. That's too bad. So there were kids climbing that rock this morning, part of a school, but I didn't have my camera recording. Hi. Now we're headed back. All right, we're in the home stretch, almost back to where we started. I want to see if the trail goes any further than where I got on it, as it's listed as being 15.9 miles long, and when I got to the end it was only 14 something, so it must be another mile someplace. On your left. Thank you. Does this go any further?
Huh?
Is this the end?
Down to the stoplight and make a right, and it ends right there.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I parked right here.
Did you come down from Falmouth?
Yeah. I mean, I started here this morning and went up, and I'm on my way back now.
Oh.
I parked right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there wasn't anything really far.
Okay. Good enough. All right, we are at the end. Like I said, there's still something down there, but that's where the end is. That must be where the extra mileage was. Okay.